Ladies and gentlemen, before we begin, please hit that like, hit the subscribe. I've been speaking to many of you in the chat, but I've also been running to a lot of you in the real world. So if you do, please say hello. Please hit that like, hit the subscribe. This channel cannot grow without you. The purpose of today is to do a full 7th-round mock draft for the Las Vegas Raiders. This is my team. Obviously, the good Raider. You kind of figure that. So this is just going to be just on the Raiders. I did already do a first-round pick for all the NFL teams. Go watch that. Hit a like, hit a subscribe. Let me know if I got the right person for your team. But this is going to be a full 7th-round mock draft for the Las Vegas Raiders. And with that, we enter the draft room. Obviously, we're not going to waste anybody's time. There will be no trades here. No trades. It's Fernando Mendoza. We all know it. Okay, Ruben Bain. They really are pushing Ruben Bain down too far for me, man. I'm not kidding. They're really pushing down a little bit too far for me. All right, we see the picks going, and we okay. There was one person I was gonna go for already gone right there. We are gonna reject our trades. Okay, the Raiders are back. Okay, there's the first thing we gotta talk about. Denzel Boston. This is David Boston's son. That's a need. Will it work? Okay, so we're gonna leave him there. He's there. We know he's there. We're gonna leave him there real quick. Chris Pasantes. I do not think we need a guard. I'm not kidding. I do not think the Raiders need a guard enough to really go this high on a guard. I do see Lee Hunter right there. I do really like Chris Hunter, but I also really like Caleb Banks. So that's the thing. Do I want to go Caleb Banks, who is a senior and he fills that hole 330? We are talking nose tackle. The other option here, though, is also Lee Hunter, who is also a nose tackle. Again, I can go either way here. One has been recognized for. Oh no! Lee Hunter it is. Okay, I'm gonna go with Lee Hunter. I'm fine with Lee Hunter, namely because we do need a defensive tackle. Okay. We need a wide receiver, but I can try and find that somewhere else. So, okay, so we're back at it again. 6 or 7. Let's see what we got available. I am basically going best player available here. This is going to be my tactic, but we are going to apply some kind of logic here. Obviously, we're not just going to jump out here and just start drafting whoever we want, but we are going to, man. We need a safety, so if I can find a good safety, I am gonna go see if I can get him. But I want a little bit more from that. Jadarian Price from Notre Dame. I know this is one of those guys people I've been talking about. I do know, but I feel like that's too early for that, especially with so many other spaces that we can fill up. Okay, I cannot reach too far down. I'm just gonna go offensive tackle. It's right there. Colton Miller does get injured a lot. He does, and Charles Grant is unproven because it's going to be his second year, so we don't really know what we have there. And DJ Glaze is not quite good enough yet, so sure, I am going to go offensive tackle there and call it a day. Okay. All right. Let's see what they got for us next. Here we go. Okay. Here's where we start talking, right? Because everyone sees the name that I'm looking at. Everyone sees it, Elijah Surratt. Here's my problem with Surratt. He's a yak guy. And I feel like we already have that with Jack Bash. He's a yak guy who can block. We already have that with Jack Bash, and obviously it would be crazy to give up on Jack Bash yet. So what the Raiders actually need wide receiver wise is somebody who can go downfield and just straight go up and get the ball, right? Now Elijah Surratt at 6'2" to 209. Yeah. I just feel like he's going to conflict with Jack Bash too much for me to feel comfortable with that. Man. Okay. With the logic of I can't push down too far here. I need to find some. And then, you know. Okay. I'm going to pass up on Elijah Surratt simply because I just don't think that's what we need, right? So I am gonna bolster my cornerbacks here because we do have good enough corners on the perimeter, as well as a good slot corner that we picked up from the Bills, right? But we need depth, and we don't really know who Darian Porter is going to be yet, so let's give him some competition there. It is a need. I follow the team enough to know that even though the thing doesn't tell you that it's a need, it is a need because we do need depth there. This is a good range for this. I'm going to pick this up, get some depth, get some competition, and we're going to roll with that. Remember, there will be no trades in this pick. In this draft. Caleb Proctor. Okay. Why am I thinking Caleb Proctor? He's actually not going to be playing tackle. He's going to be playing edge. Because we're in a 3-4. He's going to be a big package edge with Caleb Banks. Or did I pick the other guy? Lee Hunter. So Lee Hunter. We still got Tyree Wilson that I do believe is going to break out. Tyree Wilson is going to break out. Don't worry. He's still a young player. Tyree Wilson is only like 25 years old. He's still young. Give him time. But with the 280 edge and a 320 to 330 nose tackle, and then Tyree Wilson on the other side, and Malcolm Kuz bringing the speed, yeah, this could work. This really could work, right? Because it's not like anybody else is kind of established over there. Even if you did two defensive tackles, say let's suppose you do Caleb Proctor on one side, and then what's his name? Lee Hunter in the middle, and Max Crosby on the other side for speed package. Yeah, that works. If you want to speed one side and heavy big boys on the other side, that'll work. If you want to double speed with Max Crosby and Tyree Wilson, and then Lee Hunter in the middle, that works too. But if you want to triple speed on like third and long, bring Caleb Proctor in, bring in Tyree Wilson on one side and Max Crosby on the other side, and then you double mug both linebackers there and have one of them put. I think it kind of works. I'm liking that idea. I'm really talking myself into this. He is a defensive tackle, but we're gonna mostly use him because it looks like he might be able to get to the quarterback from anywhere that he's going. Meaning, even if you put him as at nose on a 3-4, he might be good enough to eat up at least a double team, or really just do a quick move to get around the center and really pressure the quarterback from the middle. So yes, I have talked myself into it. I'm not going back. It's Caleb Proctor. All right, the Raiders are back up again. I'm kind of liking where I'm putting this. I really am kind of liking where I'm putting this. If we can get wide receiver now, I may want to do that. But right when I started looking for something specific, I found it. Okay, so if I am going to do wide receiver, then I'm going to do somebody big, because that's really what we need. We need an X wide receiver, right? That's what we really need. He doesn't need to be super fast, because we already have somebody who's super fast. He's just young in the game and is coming up. So we can get somebody on the outside, a 6'4", 222, who is able to block and has good hands. We're talking about a solid possession wide receiver who can go up and get the ball. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm not overthinking this. It's a need. Are we reaching a little bit? No, we are picking him kind of where he is ranged at, and he's coming from a good school in Notre Dame. Yeah, I'm kind of liking this, ladies and gentlemen. I'm gonna lock that in. It's gonna be Malachi Fields. I think this is gonna be a really, really, really good choice, and I think that really runs out the Raiders' offense. You got a big guy on the outside, 6'4", go up and gets the ball, right? You've got Trey Tucker, you've got Jack Bash, you've got and you got Dante Thornton, who's coming on speed. You got Bowers and Myers for 12 and 13 packages, and even Malachi will fit really well for 12 and 13 package on the outside, giving us that deep route option. Yeah, that was a really, really, really good pick. All right, the Raiders are back up again. I am liking what we've been doing so far. Now we're gonna see if we can kind of round out the team a bit. We need some depth. This is where I am gonna start finding. I'm gonna start trying to see if I can find some gems in some particular key areas that we can fit somebody in. So. Oh. He's a Navy guy. He didn't go to Navy. He went to Pittsburgh. Did he go to Pittsburgh or did he go to Navy? Yeah, no, Navy. Yeah. Oh, all right. Thank you for your service, my man. How big are you? 206, 6 foot. No, we have people for that. We have people for that. You know what? You know what I need? You know what I need? I need safety. We do need safety. We know we need safety. So you know what? Once again, do not overthink this board. It's coming to us. Let's just stick it as it comes. I will think about you, but we're gonna take the board as it's coming, and the board is coming fine enough for me to just say, yeah, let me just go with the safety that I need and round out my team there. We're good to go. Okay. All right, Raiders are back on the board again, and we're still good. We're still good. I'm looking for some gems now, some things that I can kind of stick my teeth into and really just kind of, you know what I mean? Oh, okay. Here's what I'm gonna actually pick this guy. The reason why is not just for the sake of center, because that is a thing, but a potential long snapper too. Someone who can just give us a bit more options, right? We need a guard, but the best guard at this stage is going to be a bit too far down. So let's just pick the best. Ooh, wait a minute. Ooh, offensive tackle. Let's just pick the best center. Again. any kind of injury, we're kind of ready for that. We already know that Meredith doesn't prefer to play center, and JPJ is not built for center well enough. Let's just go center. Well, at this point, again, this is just needs. We're just rounding out the team, getting some good depth. So, yeah, being able to have another depth on that offensive line is a really good idea, right? Because most of our guys are either ones that get injured too much, Colton Miller, or really unproven. So, and we're back at it again. We're almost there, guys. Almost there. Now I'm just kind of looking for, you know what? Oh. Short down yardage, goal line at 6'2", 230, right? He's not going to be very fast. Doesn't have a ton of speed. He's explosive. Yeah, maybe. We'll keep that in the back of my head. Again, I am going to do another don't overthink it type of concept here, right? I'm not going to overthink it. Anyone here works. Everyone here doesn't work. It just kind of comes down to what more do you want? And I'm fine to go for a linebacker. I'm fine. Because linebacker, we haven't addressed linebacker at all. Yeah, we still need some help there, even if the board doesn't show that because we signed 2 linebackers, but we still need depth there. So I'm going to go linebacker, get myself some depth there. So let's go. No, we will not be drafting a quarterback. No. Okay. We got another big boy here, right? Another real big boy. Okay. Just in case, because again, Diego Pons, we're talking big boy. We're talking big boy. And we do need big boy. This is a good range to get a really big boy and kind of see what he can become. Again, the last time we did this, it kind of worked. You remember, we drafted Clint Fur, and then we drafted Max Crosby, and Max Crosby kind of came out of that. We do need for sure. Diego Pons is a offensive tackle. That's not who I was talking about. We're not going to draft D'Angelo Pons. We're not doing that. Namely because I was talking about Tim Kinnan. Yeah, let's just see. 220, 6'2" is shorter than than Lee Hunter, but he's just as big. Again, just in case, this is just to round out our team. We need some depth and we need some positions that are really key. Because if you're gonna switch to a 3-4, we've never had that before. We're going to need at least another option just in case Lee Hunter gets injured, or just to create some competition there. So we are gonna go ahead and draft Tim Kinnan the third from Alabama. I'm going with it. It makes sense to me. Yeah, that's what I'm going with. The only thing that's kind of disappointing me is that I'm not seeing any running backs that kind of catch my eye. And yeah, we do need a backup running back for Jensen. We really do, but you know. Ladies and gentlemen, that will conclude the draft. I know they're going to give us a bad grade. We don't really care. This is just kind of based on... Actually, not that bad. Not that bad. So, Lee Hunter, C+. I wasn't actually going to pick Lee Hunter. I accidentally picked Lee Hunter, but it's okay. The other guy I was going to pick was the other defensive tackle, and I'm kind of guessing they'll give me around the same mark. Caleb Tiernan, yeah, this is a good pick. Takario Davis, I actually thought this was a really good pick because he's actually going to be depth for us, and that actually makes me excited because he actually might break out. Because yeah, there should be good competition within that cornerback space. So I am really liking that pick there to create some competition there. Caleb Proctor, believe it or not, this is going to be one of my favorite picks on here because you know what? He might actually just kind of do something. You see, defensive tackle, nose tackles, both of them are C pluses, and it's just what it is. Nose tackles are not flashy. They are your super anchor. They want to eat up gap space, that A gap and B gap. They want to eat those gaps up and give you room to blitz in those linebackers. So both of them are C pluses. I'm fine with that. I can work with that. Malachi Fields, this is probably the one that people are going to love the most, because if this works, a 6'4", 220 wide receiver with speed, explosiveness, good hands, and he can block. Oh, yes. Oh yes, oh yes, oh yes. VJ Payne, this is also a potential depth to a potential starter. We do need a safety. We have safeties, but we need at least more competition in that area. So I'm actually okay with picking this here. B minus at that range, I'm fine with that. An offensive center, obviously, the reason for that is we gave a bunch of money to Lindenbaum, but we need to back that up. We still need a little bit more competition on that O-line just to really get that refined and get the best out of that. Because keep in mind, we only drafted two offensive line, right? We only drafted two offensive line. One is a tackle, just in case, Charles Rogers, and then what's his name on the other side. But rounding that out with another potential, this is good. I'm okay with this. C minus, C plus. Again, big guys just kind of get C's. Apparently, that's kind of what we're going with here. Utah linebacker. This is just a pick just for depth. We do have some guys that we drafted a year ago. We need a little bit more depth there because, again, we might just find something that breaks out. And of course, running that out with Tim, and I thought that was also a really good pick at that range there. So this is my draft pick, and honestly, ladies and gentlemen, nothing is lower than a C. This is probably one of the best drafts you will see out there. I'm okay with this. I think I absolutely crushed this. A B plus with what we were given. I don't know any other way to get an A out of this. I really don't. It might be higher just in case Lee Hunter is graded lower from the guy that I was actually going to pick. So again, Lee Hunter was a mistake of a pick. I was going to pick defensive tackle, nose tackle, but not Lee Hunter. Maybe the other guy will be a B, which should then bring this up to a C. Honestly, this is a great draft pick. And with that, ladies and gentlemen, we'll see you again. Have a wonderful day.